So once again, it looks like we're starting off with a team of only 50 overall players. We have some familiar names here: Sassy the Sasquatch, Big Les, J-Rock, Tyrone, DVS, Mike Nolan. When it comes to the defense, we got some new names though. We're going to see Trevor Corey. We got Corey Trevor here. But on top of that, we got Mordecai and Rigby. So we got some great defensemen that are going to be helping us out here. When it comes to goaltending, two familiar faces: Ricky LaFleur, Eric Hartman. But we got to rebuild this team right here. And how are we going to do that? Through the Wheel of Four Nations. In honor of the Four Nations tournament starting tomorrow, we're going to be doing this through the Wheel of Four Nations, and we're going to be starting off with a great team, Team USA. Now, Team USA, of course, has a ton of great players: Austin Matthews, Matthew Tkachuk, the Hughes brothers. They got Brock Faber on the defense. They got Zach Werenski. They have a ton of amazing pieces, but there's one guy I didn't mention, and he's in between the pipes for Team USA. That's going to be Connor Hellebuyck, and he's going to be the first player to join the team. Connor Hellebuyck, arguably the most valuable player to this Team USA team. If they're going to want to win it all, he has to stand on his head and he has to be perfect. So Connor Hellebuyck, welcome to the Abbotsford All-Stars. Now, Connor Hellebuyck, you're probably the best goaltender in the tournament, 94 overall. You've been an absolute superstar this season, and with the USA having you, I think they have to be the favorite. I'm going to be honest. I think the USA is the favorite. As much as I want Canada to win, I think USA has to be the favorite. They have better defense. They have better goaltending. When it comes to the forward cores, I think those are equal. I might even give Canada the edge. Like, we have Nathan MacKinnon and we have Connor McDavid. That's going to be really difficult to stop. However, when it comes to the defense and goaltending, the USA is beating us there. Like, respectfully, Aiden Hill, Jordan Binnington, and Montebolt, yeah, that's not the move. That is not the move whatsoever. I don't know why we didn't bring Logan Thompson. Apparently, we didn't even talk to him. How did we just beat the Buffalo Sabres? I mean, why am I surprised? It's the Buffalo Sabres. So yeah, Connor Hellebuyck, even though you basically have nothing in front of you, you're still going to be able to beat the Buffalo Sabres because it's the Buffalo Sabres. So the Abbotsford All-Stars are going to be finishing with 3 wins this season. How in the world did we win 3 games? Mike Nolan's going to lead the way with 14 points, tied with one of our stick on the ice legends. J-Rock's picking up 12 points. Max is going to be picking up 12. Gallagher's picking up 9. The fact that you guys are outscoring Rigby, Big Les, Mordecai, very impressive. And then when it comes to goaltending, Connor Hellebuyck, 3 wins and 2 shutouts. Okay, we need to know who he shut out. I know for a fact he beat the Buffalo Sabres, but I'm not too sure who else he beat. Shout out to the New York Islanders, they're Stanley Cup champions. I have no clue how they won the Stanley Cup, but who did we shut out? Like, we really got 2 shutouts here. There's no way that should have happened. The Colorado Avalanche only beat us by 1, and the LA Kings only beat us by 2. Don't really know how that works, but apparently it does. Yeah, that happened. Okay, we will ignore that one. Yeah, who else did we shut out? Okay, so I was absolutely losing my mind. I couldn't figure out the second game where Connor Hellebuyck received a shutout, but the problem was I was thinking about it the wrong way. Connor Hellebuyck can technically record a shutout, but still lose the game. That means we lost one of these games 1-0, and it was in a shootout. So that's where Connor Hellebuyck received his second shutout. I don't know which game it was, because I'm not going to go through every single one of these games. But yeah, Connor Hellebuyck lost 1 game in a shootout, 1-0. But the moral of the story, we shut out the St. Louis Blues. That was one of the teams we beat. I don't think I'll ever recover from this. Actually, there is one way I can recover, and that's you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 75k by the end of the month. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, because I'm in the absolute trenches right now. St. Louis really lost to us. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel once again, but you might notice we only have 3 teams on here. Well, the reason that there's only 3 teams on here is I want to make sure that every team gets an equal shot to add players to the team. I don't want to, for some reason, spin the wheel and we land on Canada or the USA 7 times in a row. Now you're probably thinking, well, stick on the ice. That clearly would never happen. Well, if you think that, then clearly you didn't watch the Wheel of Birthdays video, because yeah, January, they're my ops. I don't know how it was possible that we landed on them so much. But anyways, we got Canada, so I think you already know who we're bringing to the team. Now, this is the easiest selection of all time. We already have Connor Hellebuyck on the team, so there's only one other option here. Jordan Binnington, you joined the team to be our backup. That's the selection we're making here. Jordan Binnington, welcome to the team. Now, obviously, if I was stupid, we would bring Jordan Binnington to the team. Of course, that is not happening here. Connor McDavid, welcome to the team. Yeah, I'm not that crazy. We're not bringing Binner to the team over Connor McDavid. What are we talking about here? Connor McDavid, welcome to the Abbotsford All-Stars. So I think we all knew when we landed on Team Canada, Connor McDavid was going to join the team here. That's not much of a surprise. However, J-Rock, Tyrone, DVS, Mike Nolan, Sassy, Big Les, I have to keep all of you guys on the same line together. So that means Moon and Grims are going to be moving up in the lineup here. That's just the way it has to be. When these guys play alongside each other, it's basically like having a line chemistry boost of plus 99 overall. They're unstoppable when they play together. And that is the only reason we beat the St. Louis Blues, is because those guys overperform so much. Like, they're performing like 99 overalls, and there's no team in the NHL that could stop a team full of 99 overalls. Yep, that is the reason the St. Louis Blues lost, and not one of the reasons that they're currently one of the worst teams in the NHL right now. But I'm not overly surprised at that, because if you looked at this team at the beginning of the season, we weren't doing too much. I think the absolute ceiling for the St. Louis Blues was competing for a wild card spot. The absolute bottom for the St. Louis Blues was dead last in the entire league. We're closer to the bottom than the ceiling. It's some tough times right now. We're entering a rebuild. It's just the way it goes. Now, I'm actually incredibly impressed with what happened. Not only did we get 9 wins this season, but Connor McDavid, you did something I didn't think would be possible. 40 points with 50 overall players. You had nothing at your side, yet you still picked up 19 goals and 21 helpers for 40 points this season. And then when it comes to Connor Hellebuyck, 4 wins, 1 shutout. I do not want to see which team you shut out. We all know which team it probably is, and I don't need to see that again. I don't need to see that in back-to-back years. The Rangers are beating the Winnipeg Jets. But you know what? Humor me. Let's go see who we actually shut out. And I swear, if it's the St. Louis Blues, I will buy a Connor Hellebuyck jersey right now if this video gets 3,000 likes. If this video gets 3,000 likes and we shut out the St. Louis Blues once again, I will buy a jersey. I got so incredibly concerned. I saw 3-0 here. I thought we shut the St. Louis Blues out again. Luckily, it doesn't look like it was the St. Louis Blues, so I don't have to spend that money. We're going to be beating the Tampa Bay Lightning 1-0. So Connor Hellebuyck, I don't have to buy your jersey quite yet. More than likely in a future video, I'll say something stupid. No, more than likely have to. So we have between Finland and Sweden to choose from, and it looks like it's going to be landing on Sweden. Oh no, we only got one of the better players in the league. I mean, truthfully, it doesn't really matter what truthfully, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what country we land on. We're always going to be walking away with amazing players. Once we get to player like 15, 16, that's where it's going to get a lot more complicated, because then we're going to be picking certain players to fit certain positions. But when it comes to Sweden right now, we're just taking your best player. All right, so when it comes to Sweden, there's actually a handful of pieces we could add. We could bring a guy like Elias Pettersson to the team, 90 overall, but he's not really the player I'm looking at. I'm more looking at William Nylander here, 91 overall. I do want to double check on Philip Forsberg's overall. I think he's an 89, maybe a 90. Philip Forsberg's going to be an 89 overall. Then again, Philip Forsberg alongside Connor McDavid right now feels like the right decision. So I think we're going to pass up on Pettersson. We're going to pass up on William Nylander. We're bringing Philip Forsberg to the team right now because I feel like he makes the most sense. Then again, we could bring a guy like Victor Hedman to the team. Like, we bring Victor Hedman, he's a 93 overall. We can't really go wrong with any of these selections. But you know what? We already have a goaltender. We already have a forward. We might as well bring a defenseman in. So Victor Hedman, welcome to the Abbotsford All-Stars. No, like, I was really trying to overcomplicate that. We're early in the video. We only have 2 players on the team. Just added our third. You might as well just go with the best player available. So we already know Connor McDavid's going to lead the forward core, and he's going to be by himself here. When it comes to the defense, hold on. We got to make sure these lines are right. Trevor, Corey, Trevor, you guys got to play together. Rigby, you can't be playing with Max. You got to be playing with Mordecai. I don't know what the coach is thinking here. Obviously, Victor Hedman, you're going to be our top defenseman, 93 overall. So we have a superstar forward, a superstar defenseman, and a superstar goaltender, except we have nothing else outside of that. Building this team's going to take some time, but once we get to selection 15 and 16, we're certainly going to be able to compete for a Stanley Cup. Like, we're probably not even going to need a 4th line. I think as long as we have 9 forwards and 5 good defensemen, that's going to be good enough for us to win. All right, so the All-Stars, of course, going to be finishing at the bottom of the league, a 7-70-5 record. I'm actually really surprised that we're able to win 7 games. Like, that's actually a massive surprise to me. Connor McDavid, 24 goals, 32 helpers. He's picking up 56 points. Victor Hedman's picking up 45 here. But I got to give this team a lot of props. We have 3 players here. Connor McDavid, Victor Hedman, Connor Hellebuyck. Y'all won 3 games this season and won 5 in overtime. We had 19 points this season. I think this is the first time in history we have ever added 3 players to our team and we've reached 19 points. Most of the time we're lucky if we have single-digit points. We've almost reached 20 points with these 3 players. So you know what? You gotta give respect where respect is due. The Dallas Stars are beating the New Jersey Devils, and you know what? We don't really have to spin the wheel, but we still will. Shout out to Finland. So Finland, I'm going to give enough respect to you where I'm going to spin this wheel even though you're literally the only option. Oh my god, we landed on Finland. Who would have saw that coming? Now, if you do recall with Sweden, I was contemplating taking Philip Forsberg. I am very happy I didn't take Philip Forsberg because of this player we're going to be acquiring. Now, I don't think he's on Carolina. No, because this is from the last roster update, and I haven't updated because PlayStation servers have been down. It's been a massive mess here, but Mikko Rantanen, you are going to be joining the team. Mikko Rantanen and Connor McDavid on the same line. We're definitely going to have a point a game score this season. All right, so here we go. Connor McDavid, Mikko Rantanen. You already know we're going to have a point a game score here. This offense is absolutely going to dominate, and with J-Rock, Tyrone, DVS as the second line, we could potentially make the playoffs. That isn't complete in our lie, but you get the point. We're going to be unstoppable. Sort of. Not really. So with all the great progression we've been seeing from the All-Stars, I had incredibly high expectations, and they didn't live up to those expectations. I was thinking minimum 10 wins this season, maybe even 12, but an 8-71-3 record. Y'all let me down. The offense was better, but we didn't have a point a game score. McDavid, I was expecting minimum 82 points. Same with Rantanen. For Rantanen, only 20 goals. Bro, you are playing with Connor McDavid. How does that even make sense? The power play is Connor McDavid, Victor Hedman, and Mikko Rantanen. I don't care if there's a couple 50 overall players on the ice with you guys. You should be able to produce. And when it comes to goaltending, Connor Hellebuyck's washed. But Ricky Lafleur, one critical win this season. He's stepping up when he has to. He can tell Connor Hellebuyck can't carry the way by himself, so he's stepping up. He's picking up those extra wins. That's what we need right now. Unfortunately, it's still not enough for us to make the postseason, so we're going to have to keep on spinning the wheel. The Pittsburgh Penguins are Stanley Cup champions, taking down the Vancouver Canucks, but we're making some nice progress here. So we've gone through every Four Nations team once, so we filled the wheel back up and we're going to spin it again. We're going to be landing on Finland once again. I mean, we're going to be landing on every team once again, but I guess we're starting off with Finland in round number 2. So the last time we landed on Finland, it was a pretty easy selection. We brought Mikko Rantanen into the team. When it comes to this selection, it's going to be another easy one. We're going with Barkov, 85 overall. Should have I selected Barkov the first time around? Maybe, but I really want Rantanen to pair alongside McDavid. So it's going to be Barkov, McDavid, and Rantanen as our first line. No, we're going to produce for sure. Now that is a decent first line right there. Connor McDavid, Barkov, and Mikko Rantanen. You already know we're going to be producing. When it comes to the defense, we got to fix that up a little bit. Corey, Trevor, Corey, they got to be on the same pairing together. And then of course Mordecai and Rigby, we got to keep the dynamic duos together. And then when it comes to our goaltending situation, Ricky Lafleur, you're the guy for us. Connor Hellebuyck, you can help from time to time. So the All-Stars are really about it. We're dead last in the entire league, but a 14-64-4 record has us finishing with 32 points. We'll pretend this team's record doesn't exist right now. We're only focused on the All-Stars. Connor McDavid, 80 points. I'm really surprised you didn't have a point a game this season. Rantanen and Barkov, you guys actually really impressed me. Like, Barkov was minus 18 this season. Considering what else is on this team, I'm very surprised you're only minus 18. I thought it would be way worse. When it comes to Connor Hellebuyck, 12 wins, 3 shots, a 915. His goals against is finally below 4. He's got a 370. This team actually might win a Stanley Cup way sooner than I thought. The Vancouver Canucks are Stanley Cup champions, but that's going to be the All-Stars pretty soon. So the All-Stars are looking elite. Let's go add some more players to this team. Are we going to be landing on the USA? Yes, we are. Now, when it comes to Team USA, I don't want to take 2 goalies away from them. I'd be perfectly fine with that because that would give us 2 elite goaltenders, but I don't really want to do that. Instead, we're going to head down to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it was only a matter of time before this man joined our team. Austin Matthews, welcome to the All-Stars. Now, Barkov, although you're an incredible player, I'm actually going to move you down to the second line here, and you're going to man that second line. I think it makes the most sense putting a playmaker like Connor McDavid alongside of scorers like Austin Matthews and Mikko Rantanen. I just think that makes the most sense for our team. When it comes to the second line, you can work with these players right here. You're going to get the best out of them, and honestly, I think that just makes the most sense here. So the Abbotsford All-Stars continue to do amazing things here. 20 wins this season, 44 points. We're getting very close to second last in the entire league, and we really don't have that many players here. Mikko Rantanen, a legacy season from you, 103 points. Matthews, 99. McDavid, 90. And I just want to point out, positive plus minus, another positive plus minus. We have added 4 forwards, 1 defenseman, and 1 goalie to this team, and we're almost borderline second last in the entire league. No, this is an incredible team right here. We're doing incredible things. Connor Hellebuyck, all 20 wins, a 916 to 365. Bro is absolutely locked in. Since season number 1, he has been absolutely locked in, and he's been amazing every year. I believe he's had a 900 save percentage in every single season so far, and I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. The Minnesota Wild are taking down the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's spin the wheel again. Now, I feel like we've added enough forwards to the team here, so bringing in a defenseman probably wouldn't be the wrong decision, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to be taking Nathan MacKinnon's teammate in Cale Makar. So we're making a move with the Colorado Avalanche. Cale Makar joined the team. He's going to be leading the offense for the defense. Him and Victor Hedman on that first pairing, that's going to be magic. So of course, with the addition of Cale Makar, the forward core is going to be looking the exact same, but look at this defensive pairing. Victor Hedman, Cale Makar. Is there a chance this team doesn't finish last in the entire league? Do we somehow pull off a miracle and finish second last in the entire league? I highly doubt it, but you know what? Stranger things have happened. Also, whoever finishes below us is clearly the worst franchise in the NHL, unless it's the St. Louis Blues because that is a possibility because this game hates them. Okay, I might have been getting slightly ahead of myself here. Actually, maybe I wasn't. We were very close to second last in the entire league. The Columbus Blue Jackets were only 3 wins better than us, so that means they were 6 points ahead of us. There is no way the Columbus Blue Jackets were only 6 points ahead of us. When it comes to our offense, we actually weren't significantly worse than the Philadelphia Flyers. We were only 11 goals back of them. How were they that bad? I have no clue. When it comes to goals allowed though, yeah, we were really bad. But you know what? It's a work in progress here. The All-Stars are just a couple players away. Connor McDavid 104 points, Matthews 100. He's picking up 61 goals. Mikko Rantanen 89. Cale Makar certainly helped a lot. When it came to that first group on the ice, we were incredible. Like I'm talking Cale Makar, Victor Hedman, Mikko Rantanen, Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid. When it came to every other line, we were in a little bit of trouble. Connor Hellebuyck, not your usual self, 20 wins, only a 909. I'm used to you putting up like a 915 and 920. That didn't really happen this season. But you know what? I know you're going to bounce back from that. The Tampa Bay Lightning are Stanley Cup champions. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel just so we can get Sweden. So yeah, let's spin that wheel, and I wonder what country we're going to be landing on. Oh man, we're landing on Sweden. Who would have seen that coming? Not like it was the only option or anything. Now, when it comes to this selection from Sweden, there's really only 2 players I'm trying to decide between. One of them's on the Buffalo Sabres right now, and that's Rasmus Dahlin. If we bring Rasmus Dahlin to the defense, that means we have half our defense. We're going to be looking at Rasmus Dahlin, Cale Makar, and Victor Hedman. I can certainly live with that. However, when it comes to bringing a forward to the team, there is one man I'm looking at. He's from the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that would be William Nylander. Bringing Willie to the team honestly wouldn't be a bad selection, because then at least Barkov's going to have someone to play alongside. If we bring Rasmus Dahlin to the team, he's just going to be playing with a 50 overall player. So considering the spot we're in right now, I feel like bringing William Nylander to the team makes a little bit more sense. But I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to our next selection for Sweden, it's going to be Rasmus Dahlin. I also believe we have enough centermen on the team. That's why we're not going with Pettersson. So I want Barkov to have someone to play alongside. That's why we selected William Nylander. Could have we gone with Elias Pettersson? Absolutely. But I went with William Nylander instead. So the team's been stagnating a little bit the past couple seasons. 26 wins, 51 losses, 5 OT losses. I think we were seeing way too much success when we only had like 4 players on this team. Like we had a first line and 1 defenseman, and we were seeing way too much success. It just wasn't realistic whatsoever. So I think reality set in. But wait a minute. I just saw something that made absolutely no sense, and I need to double check and see if it was real. I don't think we had the worst offense in the entire league. We didn't. The Calgary Flames scored 3 less goals than us. We have 5 forwards and 2 defensemen, and we still scored more goals than Calgary. They should be ashamed of themselves. Austin Matthews 102 points, Rantanen 101, Connor McDavid 101, Cale Makar 70 points, Barkov 67, William Nylander only 46, and then Victor Hedman's going to finish it off with 37 points here. I have no clue how we weren't the worst offensive teams. I know we've brought in a ton of elite offensive players, but you're telling me with only 5 forwards and 2 defensemen, we're not the worst offensive team in the league. Like, we don't have a bottom 6. We haven't even completed our second line, yet we still have the worst offense in the entire league. That's absolutely wild. But the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're winning the Stanley Cup yet again here. They're taking down the Dallas Stars. Now, I haven't gotten over the fact that we didn't have the worst offense. That still makes no sense. Alright, so I'm not gonna lie, I probably should have done this before Finland's team completely fell apart, because they're missing about every defenseman heading into 4 nations. Somehow every single one of their defensemen have got hurt, and it's ironic how I started making this speech and then we landed on Finland. So you know what, in honor of every Finnish defenseman getting injured, we are going to bring a Finnish defenseman to the team right here. We're going to bring in Lindell. I believe he's one of the few players not injured, 86 overall. Are there better options? Yes, there are. Like, we could bring Sebastian Aho to the team. I would really like him here. But you know what? Lindell, I'm going to bring you to the team, considering you're basically the only healthy Finnish defenseman. So every player we've added to the team so far has a superstar X factor, except for the man that we just added. Lindell, you don't have a superstar X factor. I mean, technically you do have a superstar X factor. I know they're called zone abilities. I have just been calling them superstar X factors for the longest time. Yeah, Lindell technically doesn't have a zone ability, but I still think the gold ones should be called superstar X factors, considering only the superstars have them. And then I feel like the gray ones should be called zone abilities. That's neither here nor there. Yeah. Lindell, you have a superstar X factor, you don't have a zone ability. Alright, Lindell, I wasn't familiar with your game. I didn't know you could impact our team as much as you did. We're still dead last. I thought we finished second last in the entire league, a 26-48-8 record. I thought those 8 overtime losses were going to make the difference. Somehow we were actually significantly better offensively than a handful of teams. We were tied with Columbus, but we were better than San Jose, we were better than Montreal, we were better than Ottawa. There was a lot of teams that were a bunch of frauds this season, and the All-Stars, they certainly weren't frauds. odds. Connor McDavid 109 points, Matthews 102, Rantanen 85. So we had 3-point-a-game scorers. The rest of the guys on this team, they weren't looking too bad. When it comes to goaltending, of course, Connor Hellebuyck's going to be an absolute superstar. A 913, a 332. Considering how many 50 overall players are on this team, those are actually some incredible numbers. The Winnipeg Jets are Stanley Cup champions, so Connor Hellebuyck is going to be getting a Stanley Cup here. Unfortunately, he's not getting one with the All-Stars quite yet. I'm starting to wonder, if we bring in a good backup goaltender, could we potentially be a wild card contender? Because right now we have a 50 overall and Connor Hellebuyck's having to play a lot of games. So if we were to bring Jake Ottinger to the team, that could be the move. Alright, so the US has a ton of really good players here. And one guy I was kind of thinking about was Quinn Hughes. However, he is a left defenseman. Now if I bring him to the team, I'll probably move Lindell down to the third pairing. But that means Quinn Hughes and Lindell are going to have 50 overall defensive partners. I don't really want to do that quite yet. So in saying that, there's a guy on the Boston Bruins who's a right defenseman who I think would be a really good fit for this team. And that's Charlie McAvoy. It's either Charlie McAvoy or Adam Fox. Because if we bring one of these guys to the team, at least we have two complete defensive pairings here. And I think we go with Adam Fox. He's a 92 overall. He's 1 overall higher. I mean, truthfully, I don't think it's much of a difference. But bringing in Adam Fox, I feel like is the right decision. So our right side's going to be absolutely loaded with Cale Makar and Adam Fox. We just have to work on that third pairing in the future, but we'll address that later. I mean, truthfully, the next time we land on the US, we're probably bringing Quinn Hughes to the team. So our defensive pairings are going to be looking like this. Victor Hedman, Cale Makar, Adam Fox, Lindell. That's a really good defense right there. Even with Trevor and Rigby, it's still in a pretty solid spot. When it comes to the forward core, we probably should address that pretty quick. Like, we only have 5 forwards here. We need a couple more than that. So who needs Quinn Hughes when you have Adam Fox on the team, 23rd in the entire league? We just missed the postseason here. Vancouver, I don't know how you made the playoffs, finishing 25th in the entire league. How bad was the Pacific Division? Hold on. How is that even possible? You finished with a 38, 37, and 7 record and made the postseason. No, that's impressive. That's impressive more than anything. The All-Stars are going to be finishing with a 38, 36, and 8 record. The offense was absolutely spectacular. Austin Matthews leading the way with 125 points. Mikko Rantanen 122. Connor McDavid 108. If we bring one more forward to the team, we actually might be able to sneak into the playoffs. We might be able to make the playoffs here with only 2 forward lines, 2 defensive pairings, and 1 goalie. If we make the postseason with only 11 players, we've really done the impossible here. Colorado Avalanche are Stanley Cup champions. We still have 2 great Four Nations teams left on the wheel. If we land on Canada, we're certainly making the postseason. Even if we land on Sweden, we'll probably make the postseason. Like, real talk, it does not matter which team we land on here. We're going to be landing on Canada. That works for me. If we land on Sweden, that would have still worked for me. So we've landed on Canada, and that means we can bring the second best player in the league to our team, Nathan MacKinnon. I know we have a handful of playmakers here, but it's Nathan MacKinnon, and he's not just a playmaker. He can score, he can defend, Bro can basically do everything. So yeah, Nathan MacKinnon, welcome to the All-Stars. We're making the postseason for sure now. Now, is this team right here going to be good enough to make it to the postseason? Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, Nathan MacKinnon is the top line. Mikko Rantanen, Barkov, and William Nylander on the second line. Looking at the defense, Victor Hedman, Cale Makar, Adam Fox, Lindell, and then when it comes to the goaltending situation, we still have Connor Hellebuyck here. If we almost made the postseason last season, I feel like with the addition of Nathan MacKinnon, there's no way we don't. But then again, we also have 2 forward lines that are full 50 overalls, and 1 defensive pairing and a backup goaltender. So truthfully, there should be no reason we make the postseason here, but you never know what's going to happen. Now, with the addition of Nathan MacKinnon, we were so incredibly close. We were 2 points away from making the postseason. 19th in the entire league, a 41, 33, and 8 record. We were 2 points away. With 2 more points from making the postseason here, but unfortunately, we're going to be a little bit short. We're going to bring 1 more player to the team. That player is going to be coming from Sweden. Then we'll be ready to make some noise. The All-Stars looked incredible this season. Nathan MacKinnon, 124 points. Matthews is picking up 118. He also had 67 goals. Connor McDavid's his usual self, but this team was rolling on all cylinders. Even Eric Cartman, who played a couple games for us over Ricky Lafleur, that should have never happened, but that's neither here nor there. Even he performed. Connor Hellebuyck did absolutely everything possible in order for us to win. If we had a better backup, then we would have made it into the postseason. So with that being said, maybe with this next selection, we bring in a goaltender, and we could get a pretty solid goaltender from Sweden. Not really how he's playing this season, but you know what? He's shown a lot of potential in the past, and I still believe he's a great goaltender. I think it's more the team in front of him. The Minnesota Wild, Stanley Cup champions. Let's go at our goaltender. But first, let's spin the wheel. Even though we all know it's going to land on Sweden, we're still going to spin it for Sweden. It's Sweden. Alright, I'm not going to lie here. For some reason, I thought UC Saros was Sweden. He is Finnish. So yeah, we're not adding UC Saros to the team. That's who I was trying to gas up. That's what I was saying. He's a really good goaltender, but the team in front of him hasn't really performed. But we still have 2 other options. We could bring Gustafsson to the team team, 87 overall. That's not too bad. However, I do believe this goaltender in Ottawa is a higher overall. He's an 88 overall, so that's who we're going to go with. Linus Ullmark, welcome to the team. You're going to be the backup moving forward. But yeah, for some reason, I thought UC Saros was from Sweden. He's from Finland. Don't know how I got that mixed up, but you know what? Way she goes. All right, so the forward core is going to look the exact same here, and so is the defensive core. But that's perfectly fine, because the only reason we didn't make the postseason last season, backup goaltending. But now we have Connor Hellebuyck and Linus Ullmark. There's no way this team isn't winning 45 games. Now, we had really high expectations. I was thinking like top 10 in the league, not 24th in the entire league with only 38 wins. I guess goaltending wasn't enough to save us. However, the offense did take a massive step back. Linus Ullmark, I know you don't affect the offense here, but yeah, that took a significant step back. Not really too sure why. Did I forget to update the forward lines? I'm pretty sure I put Austin Matthews back on the first line with Connor McDavid and Nathan MacKinnon, but maybe I forgot to do that. Maybe that was the thing that held us back. Then again, Connor Hellebuyck, you did have 6 shutouts, that's great, but your goals against wasn't quite as good last season. I think last season was a bit of a fluke. I think we overachieved way too much. We've put all the Four Nations teams back on the wheel, so let's go ahead and give that another spin as the Rangers win the Stanley Cup. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I think 2 years ago was a little bit fluky. I didn't think we were quite that good. We're gonna be landing on Canada once again here. Canada still has a handful of really good options we could go with. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was thinking about bringing a defenseman in, like 91 overall Josh Morrissey. He'd be great. We bring in a guy like Shea Theodore, he could also be really good, 89 overall. But you know what? I want to completely load up that first line, and I want it to be all Canadians. Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon. I don't care if they're all playmakers. They're going to score goals together. So we got the all-Canadian first line, Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon, Sidney Crosby together. I need all 3 of these guys to play alongside each other. It's like a no-brainer for us. Those 3 elite talents, you already know they're going to be producing. Now, even though our offense didn't return to its regular self, we still were able to sneak into the postseason, 15th in the entire league, a 42, 35, and 5 record. If Connor Hellebuyck stands on his head, we could actually go on a deep run here. I know the defense still isn't the best in the world, and offensively, we weren't really producing at our normal rate, but the postseason is completely different than the regular season. We've learned that in the past. It doesn't matter what you did in the regular season. If you step up when it matters most, you can win a Stanley Cup. And Connor Hellebuyck, I need you to step up in these big games. I need the offense to step up. I need absolutely every player on this team to step up, because we got ourselves a really tough matchup in the first round. We have to take on the Edmonton Oilers. Now, Edmonton's going to be no joke, so if we want to beat this team, we have to be looking perfect. And so far, we have not been perfect. We have actually been the opposite of perfect. We have allowed a ton of goals in this series, and that's how we're losing it, by allowing a ton of goals. Now, after watching that absolute disaster class, the Vancouver Canucks are winning the Stanley Cup, but I really want to know what Connor Hellebuyck's numbers were, because he might have a goals against in the 5 range. He did. He actually had a goals against of 5, an 879 and a goals against of 5.09. That is low-key impressive. Now, Connor Hellebuyck really went ahead and did that. Granted, he still has a lot of 50 overall players in front of him, so we shouldn't be that surprised. So one thing that would certainly help Connor Hellebuyck here is another great defenseman we could add to the team, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. Welcome Quinn Hughes. Alright, so as I mentioned, Quinn Hughes, you're going to be joining the team. We need another defenseman here, and you're 95 overall, so why would I pass you up? Low-key, we have too many offensive defensemen here, and maybe that's why the defense isn't that great. But then again, Quinn Hughes as an offensive defenseman, you're also elite defensively, so yeah, you're not going to hurt our team whatsoever. Your defensive awareness is 94 and your offensive awareness is 96. You're not a bad player by any means. You're great on both sides of the puck. Now, this is the defense of all defenses right here. Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, Adam Fox, Victor Hedman. I don't think that made any sense. The defense of all defenses. No, I'm yapping here, but you get the point. We're the greatest of all time right here. These 4 guys with Lindell in the 3rd pairing, yeah, we're definitely not going to be allowing goals this season. But this is the defense of all defenses. Yeah, that doesn't really make that much sense, but you get the point. Alright, so I'm ready for the All-Stars to lock in here. You know what? We lost in the postseason last season. Clearly, we're going to respond, right? Well, that's what I thought. And then we missed the playoffs. We really finished 17th in the entire league and missed the postseason. What a disappointment. Connor McDavid, 102 points, 93 from McKinney. You know what? I don't even want to look at this anymore. We really didn't make the postseason. Connor Hellebuyck, you did your thing. Linus Ullmark, you were pretty solid. Minnesota's the Stanley Cup champions. But yeah, that really happened. The defense of all defenses. And we did that. Great work, team. So we got Finland and we got Sweden left. If we land on Finland, we're bringing a forward to the team, and that forward will be Sebastian Aho. We're not bringing a defenseman from Finland. They got nothing left. Or we could bring stick on the ice legend Henri Jokiharju to the team, and I wouldn't be against that. Henri Jokiharju could be the move. So I've made it very clear we are not bringing a defenseman to the team. Instead, we're bringing Sebastian Aho to the team, 91 overall. Surprisingly, 91 overall Sebastian Aho is going to be our worst forward. That tells you how good our team is. Now, I guess I technically shouldn't shouldn't say Sebastian Aho is the lowest overall forward, because technically he's tied with William Nylander. And William Nylander, you know what? We're going to do this instead. I'm going to move you down to the second line. Aho is going to play center here. I think that makes a little more sense. I know we don't have a playmaker on the second line, and truthfully, we probably should put Crosby on the second line, then we have a playmaker for these guys. Does this line make the most sense in the world? Hold on. If I did something like this, does it make a little bit more sense? We load up the first line once again, Matthews, McDavid, McKinnon. Then the second line, we're going to have Mikko Rantanen, Barkov, and Sidney Crosby. So Crosby's the playmaker for these two guys. I feel like that makes a little bit more sense than what we were running before. Crosby, McDavid, McKinnon. In theory, it makes a lot of sense, but it's three playmakers alongside each other, and that's just not going to work. So the Abbotsford All-Stars are absolutely locked in. After a couple seasons of missing the playoffs, they're turning it around. Third in the entire league, a 58-26-3 record, the best offense in the entire league, and I believe we have the best defense as well. So we're the best team in the league. No one can compete with us, even though we finished third. I'm not really too sure how that works. Nathan McKinnon, McDavid, Matthews, clearly that's the number one line moving forward. When those three guys are together, we're unstoppable. Goaltending was incredible. Connor Hellebuyck played 74 games. Bro doesn't know what rest is. He also had 9 shutouts. We're taking on the Colorado Avalanche in the first round. If Connor Hellebuyck can do that in the regular season, I can't wait to see what he does in the postseason. Because you already know the boys are going to be absolutely locked in here. We're not going to be losing any games. 16-0 in the postseason. It's going to happen. Ignore the fact that we lost game number 2 and then hopefully not game number 5. Okay, yeah. 16-2 in the postseason. That's the goal here because we've already lost 2 games. But what's 2 losses? Like, who cares about losing 2 games in the postseason? We'll just go 12-0 from here on out. Like, 12-0 for the All-Stars really shouldn't be a difficult task. We lost game number 2 again. Are we going to lose game number 5 again? It's a trend at this point. We're going to win in game 6, aren't we? Yes, we are. So we already know what's going to happen against the Seattle Kraken. We're going to win 3 of the first 4. We're going to drop game number 5. Except we actually didn't lose game 2 this time, and we're already in the Stanley Cup final. So the Abbotsford All-Stars have finally made to the Stanley Cup final. We have one team left, and that's the Florida Panthers. I don't think the Florida Panthers are going to be able to stop us, and it doesn't look like it. We have a 3-1 series lead, and we're not going to choke that away. Am I surprised we lost game number 5? Absolutely not. But I'm a little surprised we lost game 6 here. We're not blowing a 3-1 series lead. Like, we have All-Star after All-Star after All-Star on this team, and you're telling me we're going to blow a 3-1 series lead? That's not going to happen. We have a 2-goal lead entering the third period, and when it mattered most, the boys are showing up. We're going to exchange goals in the third period, but the All-Stars are finally Stanley Cup champions. Now, I'm not going to lie, this video is ending way sooner than I thought it would be. We're missing 4 forwards, 4 critical forwards. We're missing someone for the third line, and we're missing somebody for the fourth line. When it comes to the defense, we're missing 1 defenseman. So we had 5 defensemen and 8 forwards, but we were still able to win a Stanley Cup here. Like, we were really missing 5 players in the lineup, but we still found a way to win. Connor McDavid's leading the way, 31 points. Matthews, 30 points. He's picking up 19 goals. Nathan McKinnon, 30 points. Barkov, 28. Rantanen, 26. Sidney Crosby, 25. So it looks like changing up those lines definitely made the difference. But the real question is, how did our 50 overall players do? We had 3 goals from Jangles, one of them being a game winner. I don't know how Bro did that. Lindell only had 3 points. Rigby, 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. He was minus 10, but you know what, we're perfectly fine. Young Lean picking up a goal. Moons picking up 1 goal here. It happened to be a game winner. Sassy did a whole lot of nothing. Bro was just getting cardio out there. But when it comes to goaltending, that was the real difference maker. Connor Hellebuyck, 15 wins, 2 shots, a 912 and a 289. Those numbers aren't as good as I thought they would be. I was thinking numbers more like Linus Ullmark's, like a 933 and a 135. But you know what? It doesn't matter at the end of the day. The Abbotsford All-Stars are finally Stanley Cup champions, and we were able to rebuild this team through the Wheel of 4 Nations.